Alright, welcome back to another review video. Hopefully I'm cranking these out. I have no idea, but I've recorded like several today and I don't plan on stopping. This is a special one. This is probably one of the rarest things I have at the moment. It's from 2013. Not many people have this. When I see, collection videos, I've watched probably a bunch of them. I haven't seen this one on too many of them. 2013 Cemetery Angel. Pretty cool. Demo right now. Well, there was a brief demo. So, as for motion, I will say, I think the motion on this thing holds up to today's standards, definitely. So this thing came out in 2013, and it had mouth movement, which is not something that you could say for everything that came out in that era. Though this thing would not be very good without mouth movement, I do say. Now, the head going up fast is fast enough to be startling, but it's not too fast to be like, ooh, jump scare, because it's not. This isn't really meant to be a jump scare, I don't think. So for motion, I don't see what else they could have done other than have the mouth close more. I'll just put a brief video of what I mean. Other than that, though, this thing gets a 9 out of 10 for motion. It's pretty solid, and I like it a lot. One flaw I want to talk about is next. So, in design. The design on this thing, it's not very well structured. Now, it might just be because I haven't actually put this together myself. When I got this thing, it just, I picked it up and they had it put together, so I just stuck with it. They might have put it together weird, but it works fine. But what I mean by the design is, okay, over here, this shoulder plate doesn't look that good, especially around like the armpits there, and it is also very loose. Like, I thought it broke just a second ago, but this thing just came loose, which stopped the motor, because the motor is directly under here. I'll show you that later in the setup, and it just kind of stopped the motor. But then also the wings, which these wings, they don't look terrible. That's not the issue. The issue is that they are secured with just little magnets, and they clip into these, which is reversed on the inside, so they clip together with the magnet. They're still very fragile, and they are not very good with that. 7 out of 10 for design. It has its flaws. They can be overlooked, but they're kind of annoying. Alright, into details. Now this thing, I like the details on this a lot. So, with this gray shroud, they couldn't have done a whole lot because it's supposed to look like a statue. And I think they did a good job with what they could use. So I don't think there's any problems with that. The wings both also look quite good. My only issue is this little metal plate here. I'm not sure it's supposed to be like that, or if it's mine's like missing something. But it's kind of like it's reflective, and it just kind of looks not good. So I'm not sure what I could do to cover that up. Maybe just put a piece of duct tape, but that won't have the wing design on it, so it might just look bad also. Now the hands. Okay, so I probably should have said this earlier. Mine, I don't know what the people did, but they put like paint or nail polish on the fingers. They're not supposed to be black. I don't know why they did that. And then I'll put another video of the face from earlier. The face looks really good. Like, I like it a lot. The face is definitely the best part about this thing. The teeth just look perfect. It just fits really well with the skull. I like the huge gap in the side. The eyes are a little basic, but that's not a huge issue. and overall the head shape looks great. So for detail, I will have to give this thing a 9 out of 10. The face definitely carries it. It looks really good. And now for the price portion. When this thing originally retailed, it was $180, which is excellent. I think that's perfectly fair. At the time, that was a little expensive, but I think it nowadays that would be great. Even then, it was pretty decent. So for price, I'm gonna have to give it a 10 out of 10. However, of course, this thing is almost 10 years old now. You're not gonna be able to get it for $180. So if you try to buy this thing, expect anywhere from around $250 to $375. I think that's probably about accurate to what the range is. Which even then, I think if you really want this thing, that's not $250 is not too bad, as long as it works properly. I think there's a lot to be desired with this one. There's not really, it's very unique. Their Spirit doesn't do this kind of thing. Now that I'm done talking about the price, I will get into the setup for this thing. I don't know what the setup is, so I'm gonna go have to watch a YouTube video on it. I'll be right back. So the setup seems simple enough. One thing I just found out that I didn't even notice until now, mine is actually missing pieces. So it's supposed to actually, I'm gonna put the picture on screen, but I'll just show you right here. It's supposed to come out from here, and it's supposed to have knees. And I was wondering why this looks kind of like so hunched over. It's because it's missing pieces. If anyone would sell me those pieces, I would definitely pay a pretty penny for them. Otherwise, I'll just do it myself. But for the setup, it looks kind of alright. I don't know. So I'm just going to give it a 8 out of 10 because it's kind of weird. Like, my final review of this thing, ignore that. For price, it gets a 10 out of 10. For the setup, it gets an 8 out of 10. For the motion, it gets a 9 out of 10. For the design, it gets an 8 out of 10. And for the detail, it gets an 8 out of 10, I think. Puts it at a 43 out of 50, or an 86%. Whether or not you should buy this is entirely up to your choice, of course. Do I recommend it? If you can get it under $200, I definitely recommend it. Otherwise, it's your own personal preference. If it was over $220 or so, I wouldn't buy it, especially if it's missing the leg. So there's my review. Cemetery Angel. There's its score right there. So pretty good score. Definitely a good one. Good job.